Pixel art is one of the most recognizable styles ever made, and it is also one of the hardest to learn by hand. But I have built a whole pixel art collection this week. I never even opened a drawing app once. So here's how to make any pixel art you want with AI, including turning your own face into a pixel character. There are a lot of reasons why people need pixel art. One of them is for making fun games. Everything I'll be making today runs on a platform called OpenArt, and I use OpenArt because it isn't just one model. It gives you a bunch of the top AI models in one place. So the image model I'm using now and the video model I use later are both right here. It also has more features than you can count. And if you want to follow along, I'll leave a link in the description. Inside OpenArt, I'll click Create from the sidebar and then choose Image. Then I'll select GPT Image 2 from the models. For the aspect ratio, I'll keep it 1:1 for single character shots. For anything wider, like a full scene, I'll switch to 16:9. First up, let's create a character. So I'll put this prompt in. As you can see, our character looks like a pixelated fantasy knight. It's got really nice details too, like the golden stripes running through his blue armor and the red cape on his back. Overall, I like it. You'll notice I always end the prompt with no anti-aliasing and sharp pixel edges. That part matters the most. Because if you leave it out, the model smooths all the edges. And smooth edges are the one thing stopping it from looking like real pixel art. So we've got our character, but a knight just standing there on his own isn't really a game yet. Next, we'll build a world for him. So let's generate the scene. It came out as a really nice looking cyberpunk style pixel world, but there's actually a problem with it. If you look closely, you can see it has readable brand names and shop signs all over the neon billboards. Some of them are real trademarks that the model added on its own. And putting copyrighted brand names into something you publish is a real problem. You can actually get sued for it, but you can fix this pretty easily. So let's put in this prompt. As you can see, all the brand names and shop signs are gone. It's just neon signs with geometric shapes on them. All you have to do is tell it in the prompt to use shapes instead of names. Make that non-negotiable and the AI will do it. And because this is an RPG game, the next thing I'll generate is an item. I'll start with a sword, so I'll paste this prompt in. Overall, it looks pretty nice. And if you saw it for the first time, you wouldn't notice it wasn't made by a human. Next, I'll create a UI element for the game, which is an inventory and a health bar. And the player needs something to actually look at while they play. So let's use this prompt. And as you can see, we've got our health, mana, gold, and inventory too. Overall, it looks pretty good. So now I've got 4 separate images, and there's a reason I generated them separately. Doing each one on its own keeps every asset clean and separate, so I can combine them however I want. Next, back in the image generation tab, I'll click Add Visual References. Then I'll choose all 4 images I just made and ask GPT Image 2 to combine them into a single image. Doing that is what turns these separate images into something that looks like an actual game. It generated the image, but the proportions are way off. It just doesn't look right, so I have to fix that. The first one broke because this model always makes your characters too big. So you have to tell it the exact size you want, like keeping the height to half the frame. For that, let's paste in this prompt. Now it looks better than the previous one. Our character only takes up about half the frame. The city behind him is a dominant part of the shot too, which is exactly what we wanted. And just like that, we've built a full game screen from scratch. But that's just game art. Next, I want to show you what happens when I use a photo of my own face to create anything. So this time, the character is me. Turning your own photo into a pixel art character is one of the easiest ways to get a profile picture nobody else has. And getting consistency across everything you generate is pretty simple. You just upload your main image as the reference inside OpenArt and tell it to maintain faithfulness throughout the generation. So let's start with the first transformation. For that, I'll paste in this prompt. As you can see, my face and the theme around it look like a character select card from Cyberpunk, and it's properly pixelated too, which I'm a big fan of. For the next one, let's paste in this prompt. This time, it turned me into a fantasy character. It's also got a yellowish hue all over my face, which is a classic medieval element. And for the last transformation, let's use this prompt. It turned my picture into a synthwave portrait, though I'll admit it's a little too purple for my taste. So that's 3 different avatar styles from just one photo of myself. All I had to do was change the prompt each time, and you can just copy and paste it too. But everything I've done so far is pretty normal. Now, I want to try something a lot more interesting. So now, let's make a proper game title screen. Usually, if you ask one of these tools to make a game title screen, you'd get a mid-background with text that makes no sense. But the current models like GPT Image 2 can actually handle this pretty nicely. You just have to describe everything you want in detail inside the prompt. So let's start. I'll paste in this prompt. As you can see, it gave me a pretty rugged looking game screen, and the game is called Iron Epoch, and it matches that theme very nicely. For a different theme, let's paste in this prompt. This one gave me a gothic style game screen with a warlike vibe to it. Next, let's generate something a bit more horror and a little spooky. For that, I'll use this prompt. And as you can see, it balanced all the colors really nicely with that red moon in the background. It gives off proper horror vibes, as if it's a real horror game. You can also generate really good movie posters, and they work pretty much the same way as these game screens do. To show some examples, let's put them in this prompt. This movie poster keeps a consistent cyberpunk style all the way through. It even includes who directed the movie and when it's coming to theaters. Since it's actually writing real text, you can drop your own studio name or the release year in there too. Next, let's try a different style with these two prompts. And honestly, these ones are my favorites so far. They've got a really rugged style theme to them, and space movies are my personal favorite anyway. So, as you've seen, we got every style of game screen and poster from just some simple prompts and nothing else. In a real game, a title screen, like the ones I just made earlier, isn't usually a frozen picture. So next, I'll add some motion to one of these, so it feels like an actual game screen. So let's take that Iron Epoch title screen and actually make it move. Now, you can't just animate the whole screen as it is right now. The title text and the menu bar would warp and shift around, and that would look very bad. So our first step is to strip it back to just a normal image without the text. For that, I'll use this prompt. And as you can see, we no longer have the title bar, the menu bar, or any kind of text. So now, to actually animate it, I'll click create and then choose video from the sidebar in OpenArt. I'll pick Kling 3.0, then I'll drop this stripped background in as the start frame. I'll set the resolution to 1080p and push the duration to around 15 seconds. Now, for the motion itself, I'll paste in this prompt. And it honestly turned out pretty good. The smoke from these smoke towers is moving, and smaller elements like the crane and the background machines are moving a little too. And that's exactly the way a real game screen usually moves. The reason it still looks like pixel art is all how I prompted the motion. You have to keep the camera completely fixed, so there's no panning or zooming motions. Then you have to only let the ambient things move. For example, the smoke, the embers, the heat off the lava, and etc. And another big element is the frame rate. You need to ask for a choppy 12 frames per second look instead of smooth motions, because smooth motions are the exact thing that makes pixel art stop looking like pixel art. And now we've animated a game title screen with no big hassle at all. But everything so far has been about building games. So what if you actually want to sell pixel art online? If you know anything about online art, you know you can sell them on Etsy. But before you sell anything, you need art that is good enough that someone would actually pay for it. First, let's get back to the image tab. I'll select GPT Image 2 as the model and set the aspect ratio to 16:9. And for the first piece, let's paste in this prompt. Honestly, it looks pretty nice with that Japanese cherry blossom theme. And believe it or not, people actually pay for images like this. For a different style, let's use this prompt. This one was actually really nice. I love the glowing blue jellyfish and the deep dark ocean look. For the next one, I'll paste in this prompt. This one looks great too, with the northern lights over it. The landscape is snowy mountains next to a frozen lake, and it's all really colorful. Overall, it turned out pretty nice. Let's try another style. For this, I'll paste in this prompt. This one, as you can see, is space themed, and it's by far my favorite. As I said earlier, I really like space stuff, and it's super rich in detail, with all the asteroids and everything around it. Also, when you sell art like this on Etsy, sometimes a customer sends you their own photo to turn into art. For this example, let's say they send a photo of their dog. To turn it into pixel art, I'll upload it as the reference, just like I did with my own face, and from that one photo, I'll make 3 different versions. For the basic version, let's use this prompt. As you can see, it's a really clean, pixelated portrait of the dog, and honestly, it looks great, I can't complain. For the next one, let's use this prompt, and honestly, I like this one too. It's a bit whimsical, and a fun looking picture of the dog. For the last style, I'll use this prompt. This one turned out pretty decent too. So now, you've got 3 versions from that one photo. You can sell them as digital downloads, which cost you basically nothing and are sent instantly. And that's the one you want to use, because once the file exists in Etsy, every sale after that is pure profit. Or you can connect your shop to a print-on-demand service like Printful or Printify. They print your art and ship it straight to the customer, so you never have to deal with inventory. And just like that, one photo becomes 3 products at 3 different price points. And you can start building your own pixel art or your own digital art shop today. Every tool I've shown you is built into OpenArt, so you can handle the entire process in one place. And if you're thinking of upgrading, now's a great time. Upgrade to Advanced or above before July 31st and get up to 40% off participating AI image and video models for the rest of 2026. Go sign up up to OpenArt with my link in the description and make your first piece of pixel art today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.